On this episode, we visit familiar places to try new dishes at Jock Lindsey's Hangar Bar and Boatwright's Dining Hall, as well as sit down for lunch at the all-new Connections Eatery at Epcot. Today's June 7th, 2022. This is episode 467 of the Main Street Magic Podcast.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts. Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Main Street Magic. I'm your host, Jeremy Stein, and I'm joined by my lovely wife, Rhonda.
Hey guys.
Make sure you check us out on the web at mainstmagic.com, as well as follow on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at MainSTMagic. If you've not done so already, head out to Facebook and search for the Main Street Magic community and ask to join. And then if you hit that subscribe button, you're going to get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. Now, planning a trip to Disneyland or Walt Disney World can be overwhelming, at times downright frustrating, but Mouse Dining removes the frustration of booking Disney dining reservations, alerting you when they spot availability for your desired restaurant, date, meal, and time. Visit msmfriends.com to use this free service. And then finally, if you're getting ready to plan that next Disney or Universal vacation, maybe you're looking to go on a cruise or pretty much travel anywhere else in the world, head to mainstmagictravel.com and fill out a form for a free quote. Our travel services are completely free to you.
So I'm super excited about this episode today because we have eaten places that we haven't eaten in years. We're talking all about food, which is super fun as always. Y'all always love to hear it, right?
Love food episodes.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, we're going to cover 3 spots. That'll be Hangar Bar, Boatwright's Dining Hall, as well as Connections Eatery. We hadn't been to Boatwright's, I want to say, in 3 to 4 years. We went actually the first time for our anniversary and had a really good experience. So we'll 100%. See how this one went. And then Jock Lindsey's Hangar Bar, which is one of our favorites at Disney Springs. But I'm trying to think if we've been there since...
It's been a long time.
It's been a long, long time. I feel like the last time we went was with Lucy and Caleb when it was pouring rain.
Yeah, well...
Was that pre-pandemic or post? I'm not even sure.
Wow, I don't know.
And then finally, we're going to cover the brand new Connections Eatery at Epcot. So let's dive in. Rhonda, let's start with Hangar Bar. And first of all, I know we mentioned this last episode.
Oh, I was sad
how did we end up at
eat
Hangar
here.
Bar?
I was sad to eat here because we were supposed to go to Art Smith's homecoming. And I was going to get the shrimp and grits. Super excited. My mouth was watering. We walk up and it looks like there's plenty of places to seat, but I hear the person in front of me be told an hour and a half wait. And I'm like, what? So then which
isn't crazy, except that this was Thursday mid-afternoon.
And we just wanted to sit
at the bar.
So unfortunately, when I walk up, the lady cast member informs me that there was broken water.
It was a burst pipe. Yeah.
That they didn't have water or something like that.
Yeah, no water. And I wanted to be like, I don't want any water. I just want your delicious food. And none of it has to be boiled in water.
Yeah. So anyways, they told us it would be an hour and a half wait. And I was very hungry at this point and needed to eat. And I was like, all right. So I was very sad and not in a great mood. And then we start walking in, Jeremy, and I'm like, I don't care. Whatever. I don't care. Which is probably not
you were
the great.
hangry.
Yes, I was. So I think because I was hangry, Jeremy was like, let's go to Hangar Bar. So I was like, okay, whatever. I'm just hungry. And I wasn't very nice at the moment, but I did get nicer. So we sat down at the bar, plenty of space, was awesome. And of course, if you're not sure, Jock Lindsey's Hangar Bar is located at the landing at Disney Springs. Price ranges run from about $14.99 and under per person, and it is American. It is considered a lounge from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Yeah. So this is right across from Wine Bar George, kind
Correct.
of adjacent to Boathouse. We absolutely love this place. This is lots of small plates.
Yes.
So you're not really, in a sense, getting like a full entree meal, but that's why I love it.
Yeah.
Is because we ended up going with a couple different items that we could kind of share. In fact, we ordered 2 items. We were done. We're like, you know what?
Still hungry.
We could eat a little bit more. Obviously, Jock Lindsey, Indiana Jones. This has such a wonderful, dynamic and atmosphere. We've talked about the outside area before, which looks like a boat that is kind of lifted up next to the building. We've talked about the ice ball machine that makes these giant ice balls that are used for different drinks and all, and that I thought was fake. And then the cast member proved me wrong by slamming one on the table. That was a lot of fun. But this has such a cool vibe. And did you realize what was a little bit different? There was no hostess.
Oh yeah.
So this
when
was
we
a walk in
in,
and be
it
seated.
did say, I do remember there was a sign when we did walk in, and it did say just seat yourself or whatever. So yeah, it was fantastic.
There's that cool little corner, like vessel in the far back right. That's really neat, and just we love this atmosphere. Like
I loved looking up because I wish the fans were working, but it was like on a belt, and it was just it's just a super cool place in there. So just when you do go look around, like take in everything.
Get up and walk around and look at all the different stuff, including cannot remember his name, but it's one of the Indiana Jones stunt guys. Pictures are all on the wall.
Okay.
Like
there is also an outside bar, which is super cool too. We did not sit there. We went ahead and sat on the inside bar. Had great cast members. So fun with them.
Yeah. It was a really good time. The one that looked so much like Jill Wagner.
She did. And
it took a little bit. And I'm
remember
like,
her name.
I know.
She was gorgeous.
I don't think I noted it, unfortunately, but I just all of a sudden halfway through, I just look at you and I'm like, Jill Wagner.
Well, I said to Jeremy prior, I go, she looks like a famous person. I just don't know who it is.
Right.
I can't put my finger on it.
Yeah.
And when I said that, Jeremy
Cassie
was like,
and Jamie. That was Jamie.
Okay, it was.
Yep.
Oh, you did
I
note
did
it.
note them.
Perfect.
I sure did. Yeah.
Well, if they are listening, hey guys, thank you so much. Y'all are awesome. And Jamie, she is stunning. Like a Jill Wagner.
Very.
If anybody's familiar, and if you're not, look it up, and that's
Hallmark.
to me what she looked like. But anyways, so moving on, we were hungry and we immediately looked at food. We were like, I'm fine with drinks right now. I just need water and food. So we didn't want to eat anything we've eaten before. So we have not had the tuna tacos. So we went ahead and got that, which is
Togarashi.
I'm like,
Togarashi
you
spiced
should
ahi
read
tuna,
this one.
avocado crema, pico de gallo, red cabbage, jalapenos, and they're on grilled corn tortillas. You get 3 tacos for $16.50.
And then we also got the
Medjool date and manchego cheese flatbread.
There you go.
Comes with a frisee, crispy prosciutto, red onion, and a balsamic glaze for $9.
Yep.
Then after those two, we were still a little bit hungry, so we went with Nona's home-style meatballs. They're little handcrafted Italian meatballs. There's a Sunday gravy, tomato sauce, basil pesto, scratch-made lemon ricotta, grilled focaccia crostini, grated pecorino romano for $14.
The main reason we went with this, we were going between two. We have not had this one, but the main reason we picked this one is because I have actually been making some homemade ricotta.
Yeah.
Ever since I looked up how easy it is. It is literally
ever since Topolino's, because we love their house-made ricotta with the breadsticks. And
right.
You looked up
how to make it. It is literally, I believe, if I'm saying this correctly, 2 cups of whole milk to 1 cup of half and half, and you pretty much boil that. Well, not boil, but you bring it
simmer, right?
Yeah, I stand over it the whole time. I watch it. Then you put in, we do a very good white wine, which we
white
actually,
wine vinegar.
Yes, thank you. But we actually did a, oh my goodness. I think it was like a Pinot Grigio white wine vinegar.
Yeah.
And it can be found in Publix. It's amazing. Love it. You let it, once it kind of almost comes to a air quote unquote boil, then you put the white wine in and let it for 1 minute, and then you put it in a cheese grate. It's just fantastic. So anyways, I was like, I want to try this because of that.
Yeah. Well, let's
start with the tacos.
Back. Yeah. Well, we'll start with the tacos. So I actually did order a drink. You just had water, but I got the bedtime story. I will say, I think Jock Lindsey's has some of the best kind of handcrafted cocktails that there are on property. And the Reggie's Revenge, I think it is one of the like big time ones you want to get, but they've got a lot of stuff that you can't find at any of the other bars or lounges around property, which I love.
And how'd you like your bedtime story? What was in
I
it?
loved my bedtime story. This was Absolute Mandarin Vodka, Domaine de Canton Ginger Liqueur, Hibiscus Syrup, and fresh lemon juice with iced tea for $15.
But
as well as
what-
that fresh...
Yes. But it wasn't fresh.
Well, it wasn't fresh. It was a...
Hibiscus flower in like
Syrup.
the syrup.
Yeah.
And then it was like a candy, air quote unquote,
Yeah.
candy hibiscus
It was
flower.
so delicious.
It was gorgeous.
Yeah,
First of all.
yeah, they showed us the jar that you can get them in and everything. Like I'd actually
And
like to
then
look at getting
Jeremy
some.
took it out, cut it, ate it.
It was super good.
Yeah.
This drink was super refreshing. The hibiscus, again, just refreshing.
Mhm.
That's the one word review I think of this. So let's move on to the tuna tacos. Start with the tortilla because one of my biggest, I love the flavor of corn tortillas, but my biggest gripe is that they normally do not hold up.
So can I tell you a secret?
Yes.
I had no idea it was a corn tortilla because it didn't fall apart until you mentioned something.
Yeah.
It was super good.
Yeah, it was.
Like it didn't fall apart. Like
No.
it was, I took the first bite. Like it didn't, I didn't get that giant sense of corn tortilla for some reason. I don't know if
Well, there's
it
a lot going
was
on in this taco, I think.
because it was grilled maybe.
Yeah.
And there was a lot going on, but the whole bite was fantastic. And again, like Jeremy just said with his drink, very refreshing.
Yeah.
And just, I was like, oh, okay, this is fantastic.
Yeah, I think
So
I think you're getting ahi tuna. So I get the price point, but $16.50 is a lot.
yeah, because they're
for
smaller.
this not to be an
three
yeah,
tacos.
this
They're not-
could be an entree for one person if you ate all three, except that there's no side.
correct.
Like I think for $16.50, this could be almost treated more as an entree, and maybe you get some sort of side with it,
Like
like
fries
a street
or
corn or
something.
fries or something. But I loved these, like you said, refreshing.
Yep.
This is one of those kind of hot Florida days.
Mhm.
You've been out in the parks. Maybe it's now a little bit evening or afternoon, like we were. You come in here and you're like, I just want something light and refreshing, but it's still going to fill me up enough.
Yep.
And this is totally that dish.
Mhm.
I will say also, as we talk about these are all just beautifully presented.
Yeah.
These look like, well, they're a lot of kind of almost works of art, like
Yeah.
even down to the plates or the serving vessels that they're all put
Mhm.
on, down to the flatbread. This was served on this little like board
Mhm.
that had a little curve on the end. $9
This was
on paper is like, wow, that seems actually like a really good price.
Mhm.
It's not huge, but I don't think it
well,
needs to be.
how many pieces? I think were there 4. I think we got 4
Yeah.
out of that.
Yeah, and this
thing?
is literally like think of a longboard
Yeah.
flatbread,
Yep.
and I'm gonna
I
say
agree.
maybe 4 to 5 inches wide and maybe 10 inches long.
Yeah.
Like again, not super huge, but yeah, 4 pieces kind of we got out of it. What did you think of the
I
flatbread?
loved it. All of that, like that red onion, the balsamic glaze, the crispy prosciutto, all of it together. Like it just tasted really good. And especially with the tuna tacos being refreshing, I didn't feel like the flatbread then was heavy.
No,
and
not at all.
It was just still light and airy and just good.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, again, so Jeremy and I, with our, lifestyle change and stuff and coming here and eating, we don't worry about it. But it was nice that this flatbread was still like a nice, thinner, crispier flatbread where I didn't feel weighted down. Where then again, after we ate this, we were still hungry. So we're like, all right, what's next?
Yeah. And you described this perfectly. You got a sweetness from the dates in the balsamic glaze. You got this saltiness from the prosciutto. You got that little bite from the red onion, the super crisp, thin dough. I miss dough and bread, like normal dough and bread. So
Yeah.
I absolutely loved it. So the Nona's Homestyle Meatballs are some of our best friends that live across the street here. He makes homemade meatballs. And he'll do it about
He is
once a
Italian.
month. Yeah, he'll do it like once a month. He'll
Yep.
have us over on Sunday. He makes this big, giant Italian meal, all these incredible Italian dishes. And he does these homemade meatballs that, again, I don't have a Italian grandma or anything, but I imagine this is what it's like growing up in an Italian grandma's home and going for dinner on Sunday and making the gravy and all that stuff. And so I'm like, all right, let's see what these are like. And they were really, really good.
Yes, they were.
Everything combined here together
Yes.
was super flavorful. without muddling together, if that makes sense. Like you can take a bite and go,
100%.
I got the meatball.
Yep.
I get the pesto.
Yep.
I get the ricotta.
Mm.
I get the cheese. Like separately, but combined together was perfect. This is a very small, it's a small dish. I believe there were 4 to 5 meatballs.
5.
And
we each got one and then we had to split.
Yeah, and they're smaller than like a golf ball. Certainly, I think. Around the size?
Around the size of a golf ball, for sure.
But again, just beautifully presented where each individual meatball is sitting atop that gravy and the ricotta and the sprinkle of cheese and the basil pesto on top. So again, just absolutely beautifully presented when you're going into a place that has a feel of a dive bar. You know what I mean?
I agree.
So, this is one of those places, and I like that usually they'll change up their menu a little bit. They'll add new items. The charcuterie pretzel there is unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
Not only the pretzel is probably one of the best soft pretzels on property, but all the accoutrement that comes with it. Literally sliced sausages, cubes of cheese, meats. I think there's some sort of roast pickles or something on it.
But again,
let's get
we've had it before, so we were trying to do and think of y'all.
Yeah. I can't. I'm trying to think if we've ever had anything that wasn't really, really good at Jock Lindsey's.
Yeah,
and I don't know that that's ever occurred.
I agree.
It's such a good spot. It is a really good spot for like a group, a gathering. I don't know that we would take the girls there and get a seat. I'm not sure.
If we did, I could see us getting the charcuterie.
We'd do the charcuterie pretzel. We'd probably do the margarita flatbread, which they do have.
Yeah.
So some of the other items, for example, because if you are thinking about having kids with you, depending on what your kids are like, are they picky eaters? Ours have certainly become a little bit more of interest and stuff, but you're going to be able to get some different things. Like there's a queso dip, which is extremely good.
We've had that.
Yep. You've got snake bite sliders, which are little gourmet beef sliders. If I remember, Kaylin has gotten these at one point.
I believe so.
With nothing on them but meat and bun.
And I think we did because they split them, because I think there's like 2 or 3, just like there is, with tacos and stuff like that. And there is cheese. So I think we got cheese on one, so Lacey ate the cheeseburger.
Yes.
So
that's correct.
Yep.
You have chicken wings. They're Obi-Wan chicken wings come with a lime sour cream. Toss in your choice of either Shanghai barbecue, bird's eye chili, or my favorite, St. Augustine daddle pepper sauce.
Yes, it is good.
If you do not know what a daddle pepper is, they're very local to the St. Augustine area here. We actually had a plant at one time growing daddle peppers. You can find the sauce all over. I'd love to see it here. In fact, I love the fact that they're serving St. Augustine distillery, vodkas, gins, rums, things like that. At Homecoming currently, there is actually a St. Augustine mahi dish.
Ooh.
So I like to see our little city here making its way into Disney World. But daddle peppers and daddle pepper sauce, if you see it, it is both 50-50 sweet and spicy.
Yeah, but you still have to like spicy, because
you do like to have spicy.
It's a little spice,
but it has a good sweetness to it. The sauces are nice and thick,
almost
like a jelly, and it's not like that thick, but it's almost like a light, like hot sauce jelly.
Yeah.
If that.
So they also do have it's called chicken on the egg, which is $15. And I really wanted this, but unfortunately, Jeremy would not have eaten it.
I would.
And I wasn't.
Try it, I think I'd let you try it first and let me know if there's a mustardy flavor.
Okay, I could have used this information like
yesterday,
last week when we were there.
Settle down, Adam Sandler.
It is fried chicken. It is deviled eggs and a hot honey sauce. Like that to me sounds incredible.
Here's a
and
thought.
I said something to you, but you were like, I won't eat it.
Here's a thought. Let's go. Even if I don't partake because you try first and you go, it's got a mustard flavor to it, because that's often used in the filling. We go sit at the bar here, try these, and then we immediately go to Homecoming and do theirs, which we have had in the past.
Oh, I loved Homecoming.
But the first time we had the ones at Homecoming, I actually enjoyed them. I know, but I actually enjoyed the deviled eggs at Homecoming the first time.
They changed it.
And I didn't care for them the second time.
I agree.
But I tried them.
You really liked them.
I know. If I could maybe receive some sort of award for trying them, it would be much appreciated. You could get a little trophy with an egg on top.
Nope.
Would be good. You do have that margarita flatbread. You have actually a flank steak flatbread with romesco sauce, manchego, arugula, and peppadews. That sounds awesome. Not
There's
Peppa
also
Pigs.
more tacos.
More tacos. Adobo chicken tacos, as well as the tacos al pastor. So I'm telling you, you can't go wrong here. They have a grilled flank steak. They've got, again, the loaded pretzel. What else are we missing? I think we pretty much covered all that. But Jock Lindsey's is incredible.
Yeah.
We
Super
did
good.
not only eat
Super
at Jock
fun.
Lindsey's, though, that day. Where did we go that evening with Chuck and Allie and Alex?
Well, we went to Boatwright's dining hall because we were staying at Disney's Port Orleans Resort Riverside.
Yeah.
And that is the location. It is American casual dining. You do get your AP discount or your Disney Visa discount. Of course, there's no dining plans, and dinner runs from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Yeah, so dinner
We
only.
actually had an 8.
We did. We had an 8 p.m. reservation.
Reservation.
Yeah. This is not hard to get a reservation for.
Nope.
I will say.
But-
in fact, I'm sure you could walk up.
But when we walked up to check in, there was a ton of people.
Yeah,
and
there actually was.
honestly, I would have been afraid if we didn't have a reservation, to
Yeah.
be truthfully honest, at that moment when we were there.
This is, it's funny when we go back to these 2 episodes I just did with John Self about comparing kind of Universal to Disney dining. I
Yeah.
really think that Boatwright should have come in the conversation when we talked about New Orleans style restaurants. We kind of chose House of Blues based on the fact that they do like shrimp and grits, and they do a lot of jambalayas. They do some New Orleans
They do
inspired
good
stuff.
shrimp and grits.
They do really good shrimp and grits, and we talked about that. And we compared it over to Universal and all, but this should have come in the mix.
Okay.
And, we dined it here after those episodes. You and I hadn't eaten here, and I do believe it was, it was one of our first anniversaries. We've been going since 10 years.
Oh my goodness.
This might have been our 12th or 13th anniversary that we went, which would have put it 4 or 5 years ago.
Wow.
And we had a wonderful experience.
We did.
And I remember them coming out at the end and bringing us champagne. And on your champagne, it had a little light up clip, Tinkerbell.
Mhm.
Mine had a little light up clip, Buzz
Buzz
Lightyear.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And it was just, we really, really enjoyed it.
Yep.
And so I thought, we're staying here. Let's get back. They're one of these last ones to kind of reopen.
Chuck and Allie were like, yes, let's do
let's
it.
go for it. So this is going to, again, be a menu of very New Orleans inspired dishes. And it has, again, when you go back to the last episode where we talk about Riverside and the feel of it, this has that same feel. It's very wooden.
Wooden.
You know what I mean? Like there's literally like a skeleton of a giant boat hanging above you, like kind of like wood walls and tables. And I think it has this really down home, comfortable atmosphere that, remember, I compared Alligator Bayou to almost Fort Wildernessy.
Okay.
I think you could pick up this restaurant, put it in Fort Wilderness, like replace Trails Inn with it, and nobody would bat an eye. They would think this is very similar.
Okay.
Now, they only serve dinner.
Correct.
One of the things we did not get, because we will often get them at Scat Cats Club, is what, Rhonda?
It's the Mardi Gras fritters for $12.
gosh.
They're fantastic.
So sad we didn't get them.
I know.
honestly.
They're house-made pimento cheese fritters with pepper jelly. Super sad we didn't get them because we were like, we're going over. Literally, we were going to have, after this, we were not getting dessert there because we were going to walk over and get my Mickey beignets from Scat Cat Lounge.
Yes.
And Allie really wanted these, and unfortunately, we were like, we can get them there. She's like, awesome, I'll
Yeah.
wait. We get over there, and for some reason, they don't have them.
Yeah.
Super sad. She did not get them. She was literally thinking like, now, at this point, unfortunately, they were closed when we got back, but she was like, can we go back and get them then?
We'll make it happen
we
in the
will.
future. We will.
But it was just super sad and funny.
So what did we get for our 2 appetizers to try out? And one of these is one of those staples, right? Shrimp and grits is a staple. If it's on there, we're going to get it. Tomato soup. We're going to get it.
Yep.
Talk about our first item.
There was a French onion soup, which is Gruyere cheese, onions, and a toasted crouton and a rich beef broth. Remnants to
Pierre Deor's home village.
for $10. And then Allie and Chuck did get the boudin balls. It is a mix of andouille sausage, smoked sausage, dirty rice, breaded and fried, served with a remoulade, Creole mustard, and pickled vegetables for $13. Now, this French onion soup was fantastic in my opinion.
Yeah.
Just what a French onion soup is supposed to be, should be, is. And I don't think it was awful. Like, I don't think it was like, oh, it's the worst one I've had. I don't think it's the best one I've had. I just think it was a fantastic French onion soup.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
Here, for me, French onion soup is one of those things where I don't feel like I've had a bad one. But
I have one time.
Really?
I did. I do remember. And I say it because I hope it was bad and it wasn't like me being sick, but it's one of those things, unfortunately, where I remember eating French onion soup and unfortunately later I was sick.
Oh,
and when I was sick, that's what was coming up. And it was just where it took a long time for me to actually want and have French onion soup. So like I said, I hope it was like a stomach bug instead of bad French onion soup. But since then, and I got over my like, Rhonda, you're going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Oh, yeah. French onion soup.
Remember, I've
amazing.
still never been back to P.F. Chang's. And it had nothing to do with P.F. Chang's.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just same thing. I happened to get a stomach bug,
Yep.
and the last thing I ate was P.F. Chang's. Never want to eat it again. I actually saying the words now. I don't like it. There's one word that I think I'll use to describe the difference in French onion soups. Richness.
I just started saying the broth. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
100%.
It really comes down to that
The
broth.
onions are amazing.
You're not going to mess up on the onions. You're not going to mess up on the cheese, the crouton. It really comes down to how flavorful and depth of flavor that broth is.
I agree. But although the croutons you can get, now I will say, in my opinion, I do love where you actually put like maybe torn pieces of bread / croutons.
As opposed to one giant piece. It's tough to dig into and cut.
Yes.
I do like that idea. Yeah, or you could do the croutons like Chris served us on the side over with the tomato basil over at Bar Riva. Little crunchy guys.
That's different. Yeah. I don't want crunchy in my French onion soup personally.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it, but I do love when you can have those pieces, and I have had that before. I do remember that.
My other important factor, and I know it's not for you, but it is for me, is that cheese factor. Is the cheese melting over the side of the vessel where it gets that nice golden brown burnt almost?
Because you eat that. I don't.
I will chip it off with a chisel if I have to. Like, I'll take the knife and just hit the end, and I'll take that sucker off because that's one of my favorite. But all right, that's a long French onion soup conversation. Let's talk about the boudin balls.
I don't remember if I tasted them, and if I did, they were normal, fine, whatever. Did you not like them?
I kind of feel like you. I'm pretty sure I tried them, but then that means they were forgettable because I think these were.
Allie and Chuck really liked them.
Yeah.
But they were theirs, and we were just tasting to make sure.
Right.
So they were good boudin balls where you would have a mix of andouille sausage and the dirty rice and it being fried. So I do remember that. It was very good as far as that aspect.
Right. Yeah.
But this was also a lot later. So I'm going to go ahead and do the disclosure of I kind of hit my wall that night where I just get to the point where I'm like, I'm done. I can't eat. I'm exhausted. I'm tired.
Yeah. We had a long day.
And then
and we knew we were getting up the next morning at 6:45 to try and secure Guardians.
Food for me sometimes at that point is unfortunately where I'm like, nope, I'm done. And I can taste things and I'm like, meh, that's fine. Now, which was really good. I think it was before I hit that wall. The French onion soup, like I said, was good. But then I kind of hit that wall and I was like, eh. So we're going to start out with telling you what Chuck, Allie, and Alex had. And Alex had the Nashville hot chicken, which is hand-battered, crispy fried hot chicken served with barbecue, baked beans, and collard greens with house pickles. Or you can go ahead and go, I don't want the collard greens, or I don't want the baked beans. And you can get the other sides. And so he actually picked, he wanted to go ahead and do the baked beans. And he was like, can I get some mac and cheese? And it is $23. And he ate the whole thing pretty much. Everything was great. So the mac and cheese is the same as I'm going to talk about in the next with Chuck's dish. And that mac and cheese was fantastic because I did eat a bite of that.
Yeah. Very good. Creamy.
Very good. Yes.
It's not, it tastes like your homemade mac and cheese, really creamy sauce, big noodles.
Yep.
Like
that holds that
really,
cups, like,
yes. I really liked this mac and cheese a lot. My favorite of the whole evening though is what Chuck got, which they do offer here. Okay. Oh, what are we finishing?
Alex really liked the baked beans. He said they were really good. He described them as a really good baked bean, nothing crazy, nothing like bad or anything. And the hot, he likes spicy.
Yeah.
He did say it was very good, very crispy, even though, it is drenched in this hot sauce. He did actually like the house pickles.
Good for Alex.
He did. And he ate everything. So that was super good. All right. So we're going to move on to
$23.
I did say that.
Okay.
But so we're moving on to Chuck because
let's move on to Chuck.
Jeremy's super excited about Chuck.
No, so they have this all you care to enjoy chef's platter.
Mm-hmm.
This is a family style platter. What I like is the fact that this isn't a family style platter restaurant only. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like when you, let's go to, an Ohana and places like that where everyone has to pay one fixed price per person to get this thing that maybe somebody's not going to take advantage of.
Correct.
I would like to see more restaurants do this where you
I
literally
agree.
could, I can't even think of one off the top of my head right now, but I don't know.
Ohana. I would say Ohana.
Oh, no, you're right. I'm saying
love-
the other way. I would like to see one that is, but you're right. We could reverse engineer Ohana, where Ohana could say, you can order just the wings. You can order just the shrimp. You can order just the steak.
Correct.
But I'm also thinking of restaurants that are on, like, okay, Topolino's all of a sudden is like, we also have an all you care to enjoy platter, which includes our rigatoni, a bite of our steak, you know what I mean? Like, it'd be neat to have both options at places. So this comes with, for $35, first of all, which is a really good price per person, you're going to get ribs, the Nashville hot chicken, smoked sausage, barbecued beef brisket, mashed potatoes, mac and cheese, roasted corn with Cajun butter, and green beans. Again, for $35. If you finish your plate or you want more or something, you can get it. And I love Chuck because he's like, why would I not get another plate?
Well, first of all, the guy that dropped it off first said...
Adrian was a wonderful waiter, by the way.
Oh, yeah, he was. But the guy that dropped it off, the cast member, he actually said, all right, let's see if you can beat... There's been 4 plates eaten. And Chuck was like...
This is a lot of food.
He said, challenge accepted. But he did only eat 2. But yeah.
We all tasted.
We did. Well, I didn't eat the ribs. I did eat the beef brisket, and wow, that was fantastic.
I was super surprised by how good and tender that beef brisket was.
I
didn't see that coming.
I didn't either.
Honestly.
I did not eat the roasted corn with Cajun butter, but that looked
it was delicious.
Outstanding.
And it had this wonderful sprinkle mix of salt, and I think it was like
something
garlic.
It
and
looked amazing.
Pepper, and it was so good.
Yeah.
Mashed potatoes were super
They were
creamy
great.
and delicious.
Allie had those, so I was eating some of hers, and I was like, okay, that's fantastic. And then, again, the mac and cheese was what Alex had.
Yeah.
All of that was great. The only, downfall, and probably because everything else was fantastic, and Chuck did say the ribs was great.
Yep.
We already said the Nashville hot chicken was great. The smoked sausage was great. I think because everything was great, they were like, all right, you got mashed potatoes, you got mac and cheese, great. You got roasted corn with Cajun butter, great. We need another vegetable.
Yeah,
let's
put something green on the plate.
All right,
so
let's
it
put green
somewhat
beans.
healthy, I guess, yeah.
And they weren't bad, don't get me wrong, but Chuck was like, meh, and I didn't eat them, so I don't know. I do believe you tasted
They didn't
them.
need to be on the plate.
Correct.
It literally was like, all right, we got to put some sort of fresh looking veggie, something to add color to the plate because everything else is, kind of like browns and stuff. But
Yeah.
I really do believe, and I don't even think you need to go for a second plate to get your $35 worth, in my opinion, based on how good stuff was and how large the portion was.
Okay.
I actually think $35. If at the end of it you're like, you know what, I ate all this, I'm done. I don't think you're going to walk out like, man, I got ripped off for $35.
Okay.
I think it's well worth that. I mean, this is a platter.
Oh, absolutely.
This was it was good. Allie got the General Fulton's prime rib. This is a slow roasted prime rib rubbed with a specialty crafted chicory coffee blend, mashed potatoes, seasonal vegetables, and horseradish cream for $36. I know she very much enjoyed this.
She got it medium rare.
Yeah.
So
it was a little mooey.
I think I forget that when you order a prime rib and you order it the way we order our steaks, a filet mignon, a ribeye, a ribeye, not prime rib, what else? T-bone.
Yeah, any cut.
Any cut is a different look than this.
Yeah.
When you order prime rib medium rare,
it looks straight off the cow.
It does. It looks, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to say it out loud. It does look gross.
It is and there's lots of, I'm not a prime rib fan myself.
Right. There's a lot of fat in it, which Chuck was, which is funny because my daddy does the same thing. I love my daddy so much, but he will totally have a steak that if there's fat, he is cutting that fat off and eating the steak together. So Chuck was like, that's what you're supposed to do. And I was
100%.
Like, really?
Yeah.
So, but
that's why
him
it's there.
And Allie said it was fantastic.
Yeah.
This is something where, again, like I hit my wall and the look of it, I'm like, I'm going to be sick. I don't even want a bite or anything, but they said it was absolutely fantastic. I do believe they were on the cruise. They told us a story where they ordered this, and I think Chuck said it was a little more on the rarer side.
Yeah.
But he ate it. But this one, I think, was done really well.
Right.
And fantastic. They literally, between the two of them, I think, ate all of it. And it was, I mean, it did look good, and I wish I was in a different state of mind.
Sure.
Because I would have loved to have tried it because I do love a medium rare cut of
for
meat.
sure. Yeah, and as you just said, it's not that I don't usually care for prime rib because of the taste. It's sometimes the look. And like you said, I'm not a gristle fat guy thing, but I totally get that the flavor adds very much to it. I come down to the texture portion when we look at some of that. But
I'm like my daddy, and I understand what Chuck was saying. I will like some fat with, especially depending on what you're eating and how it tastes with it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. And what I love, and we got to, again, I mean, I'm hoping we thank them that night, but well, not that we need to thank them. They're our really, really good friends, and we're hanging out with them, and it's awesome to all go to dinner. But it was just awesome to be able to have this group of 5 of us so that we can give a really good review about all of this. And it's something we're trying to do more and more. You're going to see it with our little next review at Connections Eatery.
Yep.
That we're really trying to, down to the fact where it was almost like I say, all right, Alex, Allie, Chuck, what are you guys ordering? And they say it, and then I'm like, okay, I'm going to make sure I don't get any of those things because we would like to make sure we can cover as much as we can. So we're very, very thankful to have awesome friends that are going to meals with us so we can hopefully bring you guys even more. Because if we sit down at a restaurant and we get, you and I, we get one app and we split it, we get one entree and we split it, and we get one dessert and we split it.
Right.
We don't always feel that we can give a true review, and we want to make sure that we can.
Right.
So,
and I love that Allie was exactly the same way as you. She was like trying to ask, all right, what is everybody getting? But they're not only our great friends, but they are Main Street Magic Travel. So if you are looking to book anywhere, you need to go to them, and they can. And not only can they obviously book something for you, but they can also tell you and give you ideas and things. That's why we kind of do all this. So.
Well, yeah, and I'll say if you are looking to book, of course, go to mainstmagictravel.com. Go ahead and fill out a form for a free quote. Chuck will get back to you. He is absolutely amazing. But Chuck and I spend a lot of time too going back and forth because combined our two families, we have experienced a very large portion of Disney.
Yes.
And sometimes we'll be going back and forth, and he'll be like, "What do you think about this place?" Or
this weekend
we're going to Universal.
Yes.
That's going to be fun.
So excited.
Okay, let's get
So
back
excited.
on track.
All right. Yes.
It's on the
It's
on the
now
menu.
on
It's
to
on-
us.
Yes, but it's on the menu. You're getting it.
Oh.
If it is on the menu.
It is Deep South shrimp and grits. I said it that way because I felt like I needed to.
I know.
So this is a sustainable shrimp and andouille sausage served with spicy cream sauce over our creamy Charleston style grits for $24. Now, this dish came out. It was beautiful.
Mhm.
It looked
Mm-hmm.
amazing. Again, I hit that wall, and I don't know if it was the wall because, excuse me, I want to say I think it was because everybody else that tried them said it was fantastic. I did not love them. It was a little heartbreaking. But these shrimp were good size shrimp where I could cut them in half and have two good bites of shrimp.
Yeah.
These were not your boathouse shrimp.
Right.
So the grits I tasted by themselves and they were good. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was the spicy creamy sauce. I don't know. The andouille sausage was fine. I hate to say it this way because everybody else loved it, by the way. I can't wait for to hear Jeremy's description of it. I just think, unfortunately, and hoping this was my wall, I would love to try it again, but this would be my ultimate low shrimp and grits.
I thought this was the best dish of the night.
Wow.
It was super flavorful. Now, again, if we go back to shrimp and grits, you are more of a creamy grits with your shrimp and some sausage without much else going on. I like a sauce.
Yeah.
I like everything from a tomato-based sauce that I used to make, almost like a gravy, a creamy whatever. So I like that very much, and this had it. And I thought this was super creamy, super flavorful, giant shrimp. I took a photo of me holding one in my hand. I loved the sausage. They were these long, thin strips of sausage, the way they were cut, and you had to cut into them. And like you said, you should have to cut your shrimp when it's in a dish. Okay. Now I understand if you're eating like a shrimp cocktail or whatever, fried shrimp, you're going to hold it by the tail. You're probably going to bite the whole thing. But when you're mixing it in with other items like the sausage, the creamy grits, I want you to cut it like you said. I thought this was absolutely delicious.
Awesome.
So I would like to maybe we go back at some point.
Yes. 100%.
See if maybe when we show up, we're like, hey, do you guys have a wall here? Because we don't want Rhonda to run into it. So she can give a proper review of these. Now, I'm not going to say they're the best on property.
Right. But Chuck and Allie loved
there.
it too.
Yeah.
They thought it was fantastic. They each took a bite and it was great. So I would love to go back maybe for a very early dinner because I can't say lunch.
I know.
And
we'll show up at 5 p.m., babe.
Yep.
How's that? Right?
Sounds perfect.
We'll make sure that day we're not in the sun a lot.
Yep.
Maybe it's like a chill day. We arrive. We say, you know what? We're staying at another resort. And what you could do here, you could bust to Disney Springs and you could go ahead and take the boat ride, which is so beautiful.
Yep.
Over to Riverside.
100%.
You go ahead and you eat at Boatwright's. So I went ahead, and this is one of my favorites. I went with the Boatwright's jambalaya.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a New Orleans dinner time favorite, a slow-cooked spicy shrimp and andouille sausage and chicken served with rice for $21. I loved this. This was I took a bite.
It was very good.
I'm going to call it a dry jambalaya.
Ooh, wow. You just hit that nail on the head.
Right?
I would agree.
Which is not a bad thing.
Correct.
I'm just saying I've made jambalaya at home where I use a lot more of a broth.
Good job.
And so it's almost a little bit creamier.
Mm-hmm.
But this was, again, really good.
Yeah.
Rice was cooked to perfection.
Yeah.
It's that
Was
kind
it
of like
crunchy?
multi-grain brown whatever rice. Yeah, again, these same big giant shrimp, same delicious thin sliced andouille sausage that you had in your shrimp and grits. You have some good chunks of chicken in there.
How was the chicken?
Outstanding.
Moist?
Dare I say moist. I really, really enjoyed this.
Awesome.
Um,
I know you ate
Boat?
the entire
Yeah.
thing, and then
And then I had
praise
some of
God,
yours.
you ate the
I
rest
tried
of
frickin'
mine.
Yeah, the brisket. Yeah, I
Yep.
ate the rest of yours. I
Yep.
tried the brisket. I tried all these different things. I gotta say, man, like I remember us enjoying Boatwrights when we went a couple years ago, or whatever, 4 or 5 years ago. I remember enjoying it.
Oh yeah.
I was really, really impressed with this place. I
Yeah.
really was.
We didn't talk about the cornbread that was brought
Oh
out.
goodness, the free cornbread.
The free cornbread and the cute piped out butter of a Mickey head.
Yes.
Super freaking cute.
This was so again.
was-
I'm talking
It was good.
moist cornbread.
Yep. I had this
can't
too.
wait for we're oh shoot. I gotta look. Did we miss? We gotta look.
You said
Sorry.
today or tomorrow.
I think it's today or tomorrow. We're gonna book a Hoop to Do review
Today.
For August when we're there, and it might be today or tomorrow.
It's
We
today
may-
and tomorrow.
depending on what day we go. Way back when we went to Hoop to Do, their cornbread is mind blowing. I honestly, this may be the same recipe. I'll have to ask around or something. Maybe Santos knows because he
It
works
might
over
be.
there at Riverside. But absolutely outstanding. All right, let's move on to Connections.
Oh.
There's Connections Cafe, newly reopened, of course, in Epcot. There's Connections Cafe, which is actually the Starbucks.
Yep.
Where we decided to have lunch was Connections Eatery.
Mhm.
Rhonda, go through the couple quick bullet points for us, and then we will dive into. I'm not even going to look up the menu because we ate most of it.
Okay.
So give us a couple bullet points, though.
So obviously this dining location is in World Celebration at Epcot. It is American. It is quick service, fast casual, and it starts at 11 a.m. and it goes to 8 p.m.
So again, we're there with Chuck and Allie and Alex. Very thankful that we're going to get to really try out a lot of this menu. And it's another one we're kind of like, what are you getting? Okay. All right. Well, then I'll go ahead and get this.
This was super fun because we were like, let's get this, that, and the other. And then we looked at even the child's menu and we're like, let's just get it because then we can taste it.
Yeah. So, we literally ordered a child's item just to try it.
Mm-hmm.
So we were looking, this was around, I want to say, 12:40. The window for mobile, which I really do enjoy mobile order, was like an hour out.
Yes.
So we're like, all right, let's see what standby
right.
looks like. Right, we calling it standby. We could have gotten a virtual queue. Maybe we could have gotten a boarding group that morning. That'd have been good. Can I get a paid lightning lane for Connections Eatery? Because after our review, I might.
So let's go with, because the mobile order was so far out, the line for standby looked ridiculous.
It did.
So I actually went up to a cast member and asked her and said, all right, look, here's the mobile order. It's this far out. What do you suggest? She said, honestly, this standby line moves very quick. You're looking at 10 to 15 minutes. And
it
I was
was.
like, seriously?
Yeah.
So we got in line, and Jeremy can confirm that yes, it was. When I told him, he took a note of what time we got in line, and then what time when we went and got
Just
our
15
food.
minutes by the time we were ordering, and then you got your 5-minute wait for
Yep.
your food. Big shout out to Jessica, who was in front of us in line. 'Cause
Oh,
we were
yeah.
standing there for a little bit.
That was cool.
And we got to meet her and talk to her and sweet little kids and all. And so that was neat. Like you always just make we're back to like just making friends
Yes.
and queues. And I
Yes.
absolutely love that.
I do too.
Then our cast member who took our order, Valerie, was very, very good. And the fact that we were like, we're going to order this, like ahead of time. We're like, we're going to order all these things and we're going to get that waffle. And then at the end, we all placed our order and we forgot. And she's like, you sure you don't want dessert? We got this waffle. And we're like, Valerie, yes, we do want that
Yes.
waffle. But before we get to the waffle, Rhonda, go ahead and run through what you and Alex had.
Yes.
You each got one. You
Yes.
didn't split it.
Yes.
But go ahead and talk about this. And this place is very burgers and salads and it's insane. It's hard to find a seat. You're going to have to walk around a bit. but
Allie and I,
it's going to be well worth it.
Holy moly. Allie,
we sent Alex out at first. We're like, Alex, find a seat.
He
Then,
went like 3 times.
I know.
So then Allie goes, I got this. So poor thing. She was amazing, but we found a table and there was no chairs, and kind of obviously, to make a long story short, she did find them, and it was great, and we had a great lunch.
But we still sat 5 people at a 4-person table. We had to grab a seat.
We sure
did.
But
it was fine.
It was great.
So anyway, get into what you and Alex had.
So Alex and I both saw this French bistro burger. It is a gourmet beef blend, caramelized onion, bacon, brie, mushroom, and Dijon mayonnaise on a toasted brioche bun for $12.99. And Alex and I were like, yes, sign us up for that. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, holy moly. The burger was actually like a medium-ish
to medium well. It did have a
It
very
had
thin
some
line of
pink
pink
in it,
and was
which
super
was
tender.
so good.
Yeah.
Outstanding. Everything. The brie, and again, it was a lot on it. So some people might think that the beef gets lost in it, but
I am not some people then.
it was fantastic.
Because I could, I took a bite. I could taste
fantastic
the beef. This is not your standard Disney theme park burger. I will say,
I
this
agree.
is. I'm not going to call it a sit-down restaurant burger.
Correct.
Because I don't think it's definitely not at that level, but
No.
it is not at a quick service level either. It is not a $12.99 burger. I think this is a $16.99 burger,
Okay.
maybe.
Okay.
Super, super good.
We had a great experience.
Yes. Others
So,
have not. I do have a friend that did not
So
love Connections Eatery.
I think the situation is, it just depends who's maybe making, and if they
Could
were
be.
like, let's like put this on, and then it stays on
Yeah.
too long. But ours, I think Alex was the same way, where his was perfect. It was great.
What, and this is, again, this really goes back to John and I's 2 episodes that we did comparing Disney to Universal. What we find a lot is that these, and I hate it, and I was talking to Aaron about this, like, it really stinks that somebody, I feel like, can go into some of these different restaurants at lunch on Saturday and have a completely different experience than if they went for dinner on Tuesday, or vice versa.
Right.
And so what I hope, I don't think it's as bad at Disney as it is over at Universal. I would like to see a consistency.
Yeah.
And I don't know that there always is. Now,
Yeah.
for the most part, I've seen very positive reviews of Connections Eatery. We had a very, very positive.
Yes.
Down to Chuck, who got the Southwestern burger. They have some really good inventive burgers. They have a banh mi burger that I would like to go back and try.
Okay.
So Chuck's was gourmet beef blend, roasted corn chipotle salsa, Oaxaca cheese crema, chamoy guacamole spread on a toasted bun for $12.99. Like you just said, my fear with things like this is that the burger gets lost. That was my problem with the one at Volcano Bay, right? The burger got lost. These burgers don't get lost.
So Chuck loved it.
Yeah,
I don't think
did.
I tasted it.
Fries, by the way, very good. We had lots of fries on the side.
Oh, that's right.
They're pretty standard theme park
They
fries,
are, but they're
delicious.
good.
Yep.
And what's super cool about this place too, and let's start by saying this, or make sure we get this in there. You can just get Cokes. You have your, what do you call it, condiment station where you can get Cokes and you can get your ketchups and you don't have to like ask for it. Or
You're supposed to buy a soda. You're supposed to buy a soda.
Well, no, sorry.
I'm sorry. I thought you said the drinks.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I'm sorry. I meant when you get your, Southwestern burger and you get your drink, and when you go to your station.
Gotcha.
Sorry. Y'all don't do that. That's
Yeah.
rude. But you can get free water.
Yes. I love
I
that
allow you
opportunity.
to.
Well, no, I do like that because we certainly were refilling cups with
Yes.
free ice water
Yes.
all day. I wish there were more of stations like that.
Yeah.
Now you can of course go to any kind of quick service or a kiosk potentially that has, the fountain style drinks in a sense, and you can get a free ice water, but it is nice when you can self-serve yourself, which we were doing. Allie went and ordered the meatball pizza. This is beef and pork meatballs, San Marzano tomato and basil sauce, cheese blend served with Mediterranean side salad for $10.99. She absolutely loved it.
It was great.
I thought the meatballs were really good.
So good. And shocking.
Yeah.
For a meatball pizza.
I know.
Like, I would never have pictured this.
Again, this isn't your standard Disney theme park pizza.
I agree.
I really enjoyed it. I did think that the pizza was a little doughy. I would have just liked. I would have liked.
See,
maybe.
I liked it.
Okay, yeah, and she did too. I mean, I think everybody else did. For me personally, I would have liked.
You like the crispier?
No, give me another 2 minutes in the oven, and that would have been really good. I moved on I got the General Tso chicken salad.
Mm-hmm.
This is a petite kale blend, broccoli slaw, red bell pepper, mandarin oranges, edamame, crispy wontons, warm fried chicken with a General Tso's dressing for only $11.49. This was so freaking good.
Yeah, it was.
The two big giant like chicken tenders. The General Tso's sauce was very good. I loved the pop so much of those mandarin oranges that added this wonderful freshness to it. Edamame. I love edamame.
Yep.
Having the little bites of those, which were cooked perfectly in it. I would legit get this like every single time.
It was really good.
Then what was the kids meal that we got, which is probably one of the most inventive kids meals that I've seen.
So the reason we got this is because I do believe, and Jeremy can pull the menu up right now if he wants, but I do believe the rest of the children's menu was like a cheese pizza, was
Burger.
very
Very
simple, standard, but
Yeah.
they did have, they had chicken strips. Yeah, they had chicken strips. They had the 5G cheese pizza, but they did have a grilled chicken bao. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, bao bun.
Bao bun.
Yeah.
So this is served with your choice of two sides, choice of low-fat milk or a water. And, of course, it meets your Disney nutrition lines for a complete meal for $7.49. And I don't remember the sides we
Fries.
got.
We got
did
fries.
just get double
Yeah.
fries because
Yep.
you can do that if you do have an older child that does not want any of the main menu.
Yeah, because they're gonna. I think they have like your mandarin oranges. They got like your, whatever. I think they might have the little yogurt thingies, but
Yeah,
we're
right.
we're getting more fries.
Well, and again, like if my child Kaylin came, that is 14 years old, and did not want anything on the menu, but was like, I want the cheese pizza, or I would like the crispy chicken tenders, she's gonna order fries. She's
for sure.
probably not wanting anything else.
Most kids are.
So, anyways, with all that being said, we all tasted the grilled chicken bao bun, and it was really shockingly good.
The bao bun was so perfectly cooked.
Yeah.
Had grilled chicken and lettuce in
I
it.
think the only thing we said is it could have used a sauce.
I think it needs a side of teriyaki sauce.
Ooh.
That's what it needs.
That
Because
would have been fantastic.
when you get the grilled chicken was super tender and all was cooked well. You got the lettuce, which is light and refreshing. You do have the bao bun, which is nice and soft. But overall, all together, it is dry.
Yep.
And I think even if they didn't serve it with teriyaki sauce, but maybe they had teriyaki sauce over at the condiment station or the General Tso's dressing. Now, I know not all kids are probably going to like that. Our kids love teriyaki.
Kaylin would have loved teriyaki.
But to be honest, I mean, if you were a kid that even wanted to dip this in some ketchup, I wouldn't be
You could.
mad at you.
Right.
Or even for people that like mayonnaise. I mean, I think you could have done it maybe.
I mean, sure, but
I was really
And I like
impressed with this option.
No, it was.
I thought it was a neat option.
it was super cool.
And then of course what she sold us on was the Liege waffle, which is a brioche dough with pearl sugar, strawberries, whipped cream, chocolate sauce for $5.29. Man.
Y'all, this was fantastic. So super fun because Allie and I were like,
Lady and the Tramp it.
we totally did. It was super fun. I love this with my girl. We totally she went in on one side, I went in on the other. We took a giant bite, got whipped cream all over our face. But boy, this brioche dough waffle was not only a little bit crispy on the outside, super soft on the inside. The strawberries and the chocolate sauce and the whipped cream, all of this bite together. I mean, Allie and I thought it was unbelievably fantastic. And here's the coolest part I love about Connections Eatery is you are watching them make all of this stuff.
It's like an open kitchen concept when you consider what quick services tend to be.
Making the waffles. Oh my goodness. Super, super cool.
That pearl sugar too was such a crunchy kicker.
Yep.
That I didn't know I ever needed. I loved everything. This waffle was the best thing I had all weekend.
What?
And again, I always say this, but then I love it. So I am a sweets guy. I'm normally not a sweets dessert guy.
Yeah.
I'm not a waffle guy. I'm not really a pancake guy. This was unbelievably amazing. And for $5.29, this to me felt like something you would get from Festival of the Arts.
Oh, I agree with that.
You know what I mean? Like it's beautiful. It's
100%.
handcrafted, I'll
100%.
say. $5.29. We all got to have a bite. It is just sweet enough with so much going on that I could eat a whole one, but I probably don't need to.
So say Allie and I, we're lucky all got bites.
I got one bite. Order multiple potentially for your group.
I would agree with that. So Jeremy, this eatery does not open till 11.
Right. I'm going to put this out there, Josh. Or Bob. Josh is probably more so to make this decision. Open for breakfast.
What
Okay, here we go.
Do?
General Tso's chicken and waffles, right?
Okay.
Unbelievable. Let's do a breakfast pizza.
Okay.
Sausage, egg, cheese.
Okay.
Right? Let's go for a breakfast burger. It's California style breakfast burger. It's got a fried egg and maybe sliced avocado or this avocado. Yeah, they have the avocado on the Southwestern burger, right? Do some things like that. And you could go straight with these brioche buns and doing straight up breakfast sandwiches, bacon, egg, cheese, whatever you need, things like that. Breakfast bao bun.
Okay. Scrambled eggs
Scrambled
and
eggs, sausage or bacon maybe.
Okay.
You could even do ham, a little bit of cheese in there. You could even then go ahead and say, you know what, we're going to do home fries as the side instead of regular, French fries. This place needs to open for breakfast. It would be an absolute hit. And I seriously think on the quality and how much we loved their lunch/dinner items, they would knock breakfast out of the park. And it could be one of the most popular quick service breakfasts on property. I'm putting it out there in the world.
Okay.
I'm going to write it on my whiteboard.
Okay.
My vision board.
Okay.
And it's going to happen one day.
All right.
And I will take full credit.
Oh, okay.
All right. We really, I was going back and I was doing these notes. We were sitting by the pool today and I'm putting all the menu items together. And I looked at Rhonda and I was like, we really ate good last weekend. Like it was awesome.
And now because of talking about this out loud, holy moly, I am excited for Friday, Saturday.
Next week we'll be eating at Universal.
Yes.
We're going to see what we can do there. Again, we will look at doing things or places that we have not done before.
Absolutely.
We're going to be staying at Westgate Lakes. We'll let you know a little bit about that. We are going to be going to Universal. Yep, we're going to bring the girls with us. I'm super excited.
Super excited.
Following weekend for 2 days, we'll actually be back at Westgate Lakes with just Chuck and Allie, a little double adult trip. And we're going to do Disney.
We are, and I'm super excited because there is a Pride Month. Happy Pride Month to everybody out there, by the way.
There's some good
and there are some
treats
good
that I want to
treats
try.
that, yes, we are going to try.
We'll check some of those out.
Absolutely.
Following Thursday, Friday, we're going to Typhoon Lagoon for a full day. Epcot at night. We're staying at Home 2 at Flamingo Crossing. We'll be there with the well-known Lucy and Caleb, who we mention every so often. So that's going to be super fun. So a couple things you can look forward to. If you want some live streams, if you want some things like that, you can go ahead and check out wonderlandcrew.com for our Patreon group. You're out on the internet. You're subscribing. You're getting brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. And honestly, Rhonda, they should just go ahead and leave us a rating and review.
Because it'll help our show grow.
That's all we've got. We'll see you real soon.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts. Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.